Hello and welcome, everybody. Tamer, how you doing? Welcome. Thanks for joining. Can't wait to get started. Yeah, we'll be starting in a minute. I can see some movement. Tamer, are you there? I don't hear anything from you, Tamer. Hello. Looks like Tamer's going to be reconnecting his screen. A little connection issue over there at the office, probably. Let's see. What do we got?
All right.
Yeah, you're back.
All right. Yeah. Switch to the phone. I don't know why it was giving me problems here. So I just wanted to make sure before I get started here that you guys are able to hear me clear.
Yes, sir.
All right. And are you able to see my screen as well?
Yes, sir.
All right. Perfect. Then let's get going. Like I was saying before, I'm not sure if one was able to hear me or not, obviously, but this webinar will be recorded. There will be things here that will be covered you may want to go back and check out. So this webinar will be recorded and posted online no later than tomorrow. We'll be emailing all the participants who joined right after this call. So let me just double check on my side that this is being recorded before we get started. All right, says that it is. So let's get going. All right, so let me switch off here to this PowerPoint here. I wanted to kind of get just one slide in and kind of just cover some news. So one of the largest news here that we have going on here is we have a brand new unit that we just released a few weeks ago. We're calling it the StoryCam Plasma. It is a oversized unit that really has a dominant presence at any event or retail location. It does support now the gigantic 12.9-inch iPad, so it's beautiful when you see a large screen that is running the StoryCam application. So we've just launched this. We've had it at only a couple of events so far. It's not for purchase as of yet. Purchase is probably going to be starting sometime early next year. However, we are able to rent it out, and if required, we can ship it out to different events in different states as well too. It is a beautiful unit. We don't have too much media around this unit at the moment. However, we do plan on using it on some upcoming events, even as early as this weekend. So once we do get some media, we will definitely be sharing it on our social media and our blog. So, you know, one of the things I wanted to also mention as well too, before we kind of get going here, is that these webinars, you know, we're going to start doing a lot more of them. It's one thing that always has been on our list, but we've never really have done it. So these webinars will be a common occurrence moving forward, not only when we release new features and so forth, but just to kind of give you an update on what's going on our side and what our roadmap is looking like. And also, you know, we've done personally ourselves, you know, over 1,000 events, and our clients have done tons of events as well too. So one thing we also want to do is also share what our customers are doing as well too, in an effort to inspire you to kind of see what others are doing, from the design, from their activations and so forth. I think by doing that, many will learn from each other rather than just coming from us all the time. So with that being said, let's get started here. So earlier this week, we launched a blog post that really highlighted all of the new features that we're going to be going over here. I have it here on the side, so I'm going to breeze through them. Any questions that anybody has, feel free. We're going to leave about 10 to 15 minutes after this webinar to answer any kind of questions. If a question comes up later on, always feel free to email us at hello@meetstory.com. So with that being said here, let me switch over to the iPad. All right, so I am mirroring my iPad. I'm on an iPad 10.5-inch. This is the iPad Pro. With that being said, one of the biggest concerns we've always had here is that as we continue to support different size iPads, different templates has always been an issue with this size and so forth. So with this brand new release of this application, we now have a dynamic size that is one size that fits all iPads, no matter if you're using the old 9.7 inches or the latest 12.9s. One size template, which is a 960 by 1280, now supports all sizes. So the advantage of this is that obviously confusion of different sizes is a thing of the past, and moving forward as well too, if you do have an activation that is running multiple cameras with multiple sizes, it is no longer going to be an issue with the size issue. So this is a wonderful feature. Our support documentation on this has been updated in our support area. I will also be sharing that link as well too on the conclusion of this call when we share the webinar, the recorded version of this webinar as well too. So that support area includes new templates that you can go and download as well too. So it's not just me telling you the different sizes, it's also templates that you can download. So just to kind of repeat myself, the new sizes is now one standard size. They are 960 by 1280 and supports all iPads, and it can be uploaded the same way as you've always been in the dashboard. Number two, the new feature list. This has been a highly requested feature, which is SMS delivery. So let me just kind of talk about that for a second here, and let me kind of navigate to the dashboard so you understand what's happening here. So the way that SMS delivery works, I actually have it enabled on this application for this webinar. The way that you enable it, and just a little side note, this is something, if you do plan on using the SMS delivery, this is something that you need to contact us about because it does require additional charges per SMS that is going out, and which is one of the reasons why we kind of held back this long in regards to that, because there is a fee that we incur for transmitting this data through another network. So if you do plan on using it and want to go and use it, the costs are not that much difference, and it is obviously a wonderful experience to have. The way that you enable a SMS messaging is that you go into the user data section, and then on the form design, one of the forms that we have here is mobile, all right? So all you got to do is just drag and drop this mobile from these categories right here. Once you've dropped it into the mobile, you press save, and then make sure on the application, you go back to the application, you always do a refresh. So we'll do a refresh right here. Press the refresh. Great. So now, if we take a photo, let's take a photo of me right here. All right. So now if I press oh yeah, you'll notice that if I press send it to me, now we'll have the phone number. So let me put in my phone number, 310-560-0038. You do not need to put in any kind of country code. Putting in the phone number by itself will automatically send a text message, and press send. So the way that this works, the SMS delivery works, is that the SMS will send out photos only. If one is doing a boomerang or a shout out or an animated GIF, the way that these networks work when they transmit data is that they do not support a certain size file. So with that being said, what we're doing is that we're texting the user the photo itself. And then what we are doing when it comes to the videos is that we're sending them a link to view the video, which then they can download themselves or actually have it requested, emailed, or whatever, however they want it. As we continue to work with these network providers, once we're able to send out an actual attachment of a video, it's something that we'll of course be jumping on. But as of right now, if you do choose to use the SMS delivery, it will send out only the photos as a attachment in the text message. Videos will be sent as a link. So let me just quickly share the text message that I got here, so you can kind of see. It hasn't been delivered yet, but here's one I just did before this webinar to test everything here. I'm going to share it on my screen here so you can kind of see what it is. I'm not sharing my thing here. So, but that's how it comes in as a text message, just like any other photo that you would share with any of your friends. And once again, if you do want this enabled, just please contact us and we'll get it set up. And if you're using it for the first time, we'll hook it up for free. Oh, my text message just came in here. So here's my phone. Let me tap on this. So here's the photo that I just took. So pretty fast delivery. Came in about less than a minute. So customers will obviously love that. There are limitations to this compared to the email. You can't have a rich email where you can embed a coupon and so forth, but it does make it easier for the user, and it's great for a private party. Moving forward, number 3, guests can now see their uploaded filter in the preview screen. So this has also been a requested feature as well too. So what that means here is that, so say for example, we have this design right here. If somebody were to take a photo, for example, you'll notice that the filter that was uploaded is still being seen here. So this is obviously great for users to know where they are in a comparison to the filter. So a lot of people were taking the photos and videos and people's heads were getting chopped off because the filter was being applied after, so they weren't able to see that. So that's no longer a issue. The filter is now part of the experience, so a user will now see themselves compared to the design and also see what the design looks like as well too. So it's a really nifty new feature that I'm sure not only you but your guests will love as well too. Number 4, there's a brand new experience that we just introduced. You'll notice that on the home screen right here, there's a new feature called Animated GIF. This is our first version of the animated GIF. We plan on improving the user experience of this, but I'm sure we've all seen what an animated GIF is. It takes multiple photos and it stitches them all together and it creates this pretty cool effect. So let me kind of take, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you'll notice that it does really this kind of cool effect. Obviously, it looks a lot better when people are in front of it, not my fingers. But this is a really cool feature that a lot of people will love. Like I was saying, we're going to continue to improve on this user experience so users know exactly how to take the best animated GIF possible. So this is our first version of this. The next release will have some brand new improvements on this that we have been talking about here at the office. To access the new animated GIF feature, it's as simple as going back into your admin. You'll notice now that there are 4 features now compared to the 3 that have always been there. So just like normal, you can tap it on to enable it and tap it off to disable it as well too. So that can be found in the new application in the admin screen. Moving forward, number 5 is the photo filter and the watermark have now been combined to eliminate confusion. So this has also been a thing that we've been getting a lot of support requests on, and it was a little bit confusing, but we hope with this new iteration that we fix this. We've now separated the photo filter and the photo background. This used to be called photo watermark, and then there was like a little hack that you would do to make it into a full screen filter. That is no longer. So if you do want to apply a full filter on top of the image, you just go to photo filter, upload your new photo size, which is the 960 by 1280, and this will cover the entire screen. Make sure, however, the rule still applies that if you do upload a photo filter, that you got to go to the photo background and make sure that the cropping tool is set to cover the entire background. If that's not set, then you'll have the photo filter appear wherever the crop is. So make sure that you have the full crop. Make sure it is full there. You press save, and that will make sure that the photo filter is completely applied on the photo. So moving forward here, number 6 is a brand new enterprise feature. With this new enterprise feature, what it does is that it actually verifies the email. So a lot of the larger companies that are using StoryCam to acquire data, having the right data and the clean data is a very important thing for them. And now we've not only have brought this from the enterprise, but we've also brought it to anyone who wants to use it as well too. This is a enterprise feature, so it does require a additional charge. That's really just a pass-through cost from the provider who's validating the emails. But the way that it works is that if somebody were to type in their email address, what we're doing is that before that email is actually submitted, it is being verified. So if they typed in a wrong email by accident or whatever it is, we're not going to have that data being submitted until that email is corrected. So it's a wonderful way to have 99.9% accuracy on the data that is being collected to ensure that the list has limited bounce back rates. So it's a wonderful feature for people who are acquiring data. Number 7, this has also been a feature that we've had a few customers ask about. personally, I'm not too big of a fan of this, which is the new printing feature. You know, just being who we are in terms of being a eco-friendly type of a company, and the founders are eco-friendly. You know, we're not all about wasting paper. And when we say wasting paper, the reason is, you know, we've been to several events, and a lot of these events sometimes have a competing photo booth that is printing these photos. And, you know, they're obviously going to say yes to a free print. It's not costing anything, but once they get that print, they're immediately taking a picture of that print on their phones, and then they're just kind of throwing the print away, and then you have a bunch of trash that's just lying on the floor of these prints. However, we do understand that that's not the case for every single event, which is the reason why we've now created this print feature. So let me show you how this works. So in your account, for you to enable the printing, make sure that you come into your settings and select the print option enabled. So by you selecting this and saving it and going back into the iPad, I do not have the printer with me today. However, we do support a Canon Selfie photo printer. It's a 4x6 photo printer. That's the one that we are recommending for this installation of printing. But let me show you how it operates here. So let me just kind of go into the back end really quick so you can see what it looks like. If you do have a printer that is set up, you'll notice that it'll have a new select printer feature right here. Make sure before you select the printer that you do select the printer, the Bluetooth settings on the iPad itself. So you must connect the printer to the iPad from the iPad native settings before you come into the StoryCam application and select the printer. So most of these printers, they connect either through Wi-Fi or through Bluetooth. Once they've connected, you come into the StoryCam application. That printer will be listed as one of the options. You select that print. Once you've selected that printer, you come out here and you take a photo, right? So let's take another photo of me. Right. So you'll notice if I press the "Oh yeah" button that there's a new feature on the screen called print, right? It's going to give you the error here, obviously, because there's no printer set up. However, if there was a printer set up, it will send it to the printer, and it will print a 4x6 photo of this, the same thing that you're seeing on the screen with the filter. So that's how the printing option works. It's pretty simple. Just to recap, you connect the printer to the Bluetooth native settings or through Wi-Fi. Once you've done that, you go into the application, you select the printer, and then automatically, if someone takes a photo, they'll have the option to print. So moving forward here, number 8. So this is one of my favorite features. So, you know, from day one, we've always seen StoryCam as not just another photo booth application, but something where it creates content, creates social media content, social media ads in particular. So one thing that we have added here, which is a wonderful feature, if you go into the design area, you'll notice that there's a new area called promo video. And what this promo video allows you to do is that it allows you to attach a video at the end of whatever shout out or boomerang. And you have the option to actually enable that depending on what it is that you want. So for example, if I want to have my promo video to appear only in my boomerangs, and then I would enable the boomerangs. If I wanted to do it in the shout outs, I would do it in the shout outs. So we're going to have it for both right here. I'm going to do the save. I uploaded a video earlier this morning here to save some time. So let me show you what that looks like here. So let me go here. All right. So I think this is actually, here we go. This one right here. So you'll notice that it's a 5-second shout out.
I highly recommend Story for all your event meetings. Let's go, Story.
and then here's the video ad that plays right afterwards. So essentially what I've done here is I've created a quick shout out and I've added a video at the end. Makes for a amazing social media ad that is authentic, and now has a promotional video at the end of it. You know, we're definitely going to be sharing different use cases as we continue to roll this out. But you know, just think of it as someone giving a shout out, saying how they love the brand, they love the event, or whatever it is, and then right after, a animated logo appears of that event or some sort of call to action that people can go out there and share. So really excited about the potential of this feature and how fast and how rapid we can create hundreds, if not thousands, of these micro social media ads that can be shared immediately on social media for you guys. So moving forward here, number 9 here. So this is a app update here. So going back here, we're able to now share with you the number of pending transfers on the home screen itself.
It looks like the screen froze at your example of the video. So
okay, I did. Okay, let me stop sharing and share it again. Hold on a sec here. One sec here. For some reason, my internet just decided to switch off. One second, guys. Let me get this back here going here. Not sure what happened here.
are there any questions so far? I see we have a few people here. You know, one question, Tamer, I had as far as the data. How does the new SMS feature affect the way the data is pulled, or is that a part of the export?
Yeah, yeah. So all data in those fields in the form are all they'll all be saved the same way that you've been collecting emails since day one. So the phone numbers will be in there, even if you were using name, first name, last name, zip code, all that data will be saved the same way.
Nice.
The only difference is with the phone numbers that it actually has an action that is associated with that form field now.
Beautiful.
So, yeah. I don't know what's going on here, guys. So let's just kind of continue going here. Looks like my internet just decided to take a dump on me. Maybe it was just too many people having a good time with the story cam here. So let's just kind of continue going here, and we'll if it does come back up, I'll switch it back to my screen here. This webinar is really for the intention of people that are familiar with the StoryCam application already. So, you know, the majority of you guys that are on this call are familiar with how the experience looks like. So I'm going to continue going here in an effort to not waste any time. And then once the internet comes back up here, I will definitely switch it on. So the next one here is number 10, which is the ability to control the shout out link. So this is another big feature that I'm sure a lot of people will love as well too. So in the shout out settings that most of you guys have played with, it now the on-screen application, now when you use the shout out, will have the ability to have a stop feature. So before in the past, you were required to select a setting it was 5 seconds up to 90 seconds. And then you were just kind of, if somebody stopped talking, say you set it at 10 seconds and someone stopped talking at 7 seconds, you would have that awkward moment of those few seconds of them not saying anything or walking off. Now that with the ability of having the stop button, somebody can just reach out, press the stop button, and that concludes the shout out setting. So that is a new feature that's already built into this new application. And for anyone to test it out, it's as easy as just selecting the shout out and using it, and you'll see that the stop button is something that is already in there, embedded. Number 11, which is a new feature as well too. This is something that we're also kind of beginning to play with ourselves, which is an animated GIF overlay. So this is not the same animated GIF that I was showing you guys earlier. With an animated GIF overlay filter is that you can design a filter the same way that you've always designed a filter, but now you can have animated effects on that filter. So for example, as we move forward here into the holiday season, one of the good examples that I've seen is like the filter and there's like snow falling, right? So it adds another element to the photo and to the boomerang. As we begin to create our own filters for our own clients moving forward, we're going to be sharing a lot of these examples. It does take somewhat of a new skill and a new effort to create these animated GIF overlays. As we find new tools that make it easier for you guys to use and create these in a rapid speed, we'll definitely be sharing with them really quick on our blog. We really want you guys to begin to use these things here. And as you see it from our side, they're really awesome looking. So that's the animated GIF overlay, which is a filter that is now has motion. All right. I think I have internet back here again here, so let me share my screen here again. Let me know if you guys see my screen again.
Nothing yet, but with those
okay.
Those animated GIF filters, we will be creating a library on our own for like seasonal holidays and stuff like that. So, you know, we'll be happy to share those with everybody so you all can use them on your own activations.
Yes, correct. And all this stuff here will be shared on our promise to be updated blog. Are you guys able to see my screen again? Dave, are you able to see my screen again?
Yeah, it just came back.
Okay, perfect. All right, so moving forward here, number 12 is...
Show them an example of that GIF overlay if you have one.
I don't have one right now that I have handy,
okay.
And we're running short on time here, so I want to move forward. I'll definitely share that in the follow-up email with what we've been playing with. Number 12 here is the ability now to delete a event. So this is something that, once again, a lot of customers have been asking for. This will allow you to now manage your plan better. So if you are on a plan that limits so many events, you can now just delete a previous event and continue forward without having to upgrade or pay for a brand new event. Little side note though, if you do delete a event, that also removes the online photo gallery of it as well too. So keep that in mind as you're deleting events. So the way that you would delete a event is by going into the manage events, and you'll notice a new button called delete, and that will delete that entire event and all the media that is related to that event. So that's how the deletion works. Number 13 is the ability to now delete filters. So before, when you deleted a filter, it always defaulted back to our own kind of default filters. Now, if you delete any kind of image or filter, it will be just a blank canvas. And you'll notice that every single feature now has the ability to delete the actual photo and the file itself. So that's now enabled on every single graphical setting. Number 14, an all-new galleries interface. So what we've done here is we've completely redesigned the new gallery interface here. The new gallery interface here, let me actually select a better event here that has better content than my test content here. So let's do the view web gallery. The new gallery works a lot faster. It is now mobile responsive on phones. It has a brand new pop-up as well too that you can navigate through. One of the cool things about this new gallery, and something that we're currently working on right now, is that the purpose of this new gallery is to not only share the photo or the video that the user took, but also to share all of the media that has been taken by the StoryCam at that particular event. So when you do get that email, it's going to show you the same preview thumbnail in that email. But now when you do press on the view photo, it's going to open up your photo or your video, but it's going to open it up in a gallery. Before, as you probably already know, that it would open it up in a separate dedicated link, and then you have no way to actually view the other contents of that event. That is no longer. Now it will open up the photo or the video in the gallery with your pop-up, which will make it easier for one to either take an action on their photo or video, or close out the pop-up and continue browsing all the awesome content that StoryCam created for your event. So the purpose of this is increased engagement. We want people to have fun with the photos and see, what other people were there and kind of see their friends and family. And we believe that's going to do that with this new improvement of this new online gallery. So that's currently live today inside of the application. Number 15, the app connects via Bluetooth. So if you do choose to use the shout out feature, one of the things that the system also enables now as well too is that you can always plug in a mic into the iPad and it will pick up the audio and the video how it's always been. However, if you do want to create a Bluetooth type of a mic where somebody can actually have it on their lapel or on their shirt or anything of that sort, or have it on to the StoryCam and connect it with no wires, this can be enabled by going into the settings of the application. First, let me step back. Before you do that, you must connect to Bluetooth natively to the iPad setting itself, right? And by doing that, I'm talking about going into the settings, clicking on Bluetooth, and then finding the actual Bluetooth mic itself, and then coming back into the admin, and then making sure on the bottom right corner, you'll see the ability for Bluetooth. So you just toggle that on, and then it will connect to the Bluetooth mic. And this way you can now create shout outs wirelessly. So it's an awesome feature to have. Number 16 was something that I was talking about already previously, that the shout out time is now extended to 90 seconds. So you can now create up to 90 seconds of shout out for whatever purpose that you need the 90 seconds for. Number 17 is a new follow-up email template. So if you go into the design area, click on email, and then follow-up template here, this is something that we've always kind of been working on and removing some of the bugs that we have on here. But now if you choose to use this, this is a wonderful tool to have. I don't think a lot of people have used it the way that it should work. It is something that you have to enable in the settings area before it is being used, which is enable daily follow-up emails. The way that this works is that if you do an event today, for example, the very next day, that user will get an automated email saying, thank you for stopping by or coming by the event. And what it does is that it bundles all of the photos and videos that they took during that period into one single email. So as they're at your event, they're typing in their email. Each time they use it, they're going to get a separate email. The very next day, what we do is that we bundle all of those photos and videos that were taken around that single email address, send out one email, and we say, thank you, And it's just another marketing touch point that you're able to embed either a thank you letter, a coupon, whatever it is. Just think of it as another marketing touch point that the user is welcoming to see. This is not some spammy email. This is something that it's all about them, and it's really a thank you for coming by your retail or coming by your event or however you plan on using that. So it's a wonderful marketing tool that is completely automated. Number 18, all media and time location is all media is now time and date stamped. One thing that you probably have noticed in the previous time that the times were off based on where you were at taking these photos and videos. We now have global clients that are using StoryCam from Egypt, Dubai, Thailand, all over the place. And previously the times and dates were all being stamped based on what the server location was, which is in the States. That is no longer happening. The time and the date will now be stamped on whatever the iPad and the location where you're at. This allows for better searching of your media, and now it allows us to do other types of things like know exactly where these iPads are being logged in from, for us to help you guys manage your media better and your iPad better. So it's a wonderful thing for the users as well to search. And then the final thing is a timer that has been enabled on all screens. So there were some screens that didn't have a timer that was enabled on there. And what I mean by a timer is that, for example, if you take a photo, for example, and let's take a photo, you'll notice that on the bottom left-hand corner here, there's a timer that is ticking. That was only seen on certain types of screens as you went through the flow and the process. It's now enabled on all the screens. And we've made it so on the email screen, on the data capture screen, there will be a timer as well too. However, if the StoryCam detects any kind of engagement with the screen, that the timer will reset. So we'll never cut off anyone entering in their data. It'll always reset based on the touch on the screen itself. So it's smart enough to know that somebody's still in front of the camera. So that concludes the new features that we're highlighting on this webinar today. I apologize for the interrupted internet connection here. But let's see if we can open it up to any kind of Q&A here, if it's possible. Let me stop sharing my screen here. Okay, so so we have 3 questions here that I'm gonna just read out here. So in regards to the printing, yes, the recommended printer is the Canon selfie camera. I will be emailing everybody and putting it on our blog on where to purchase that camera for a low expensive cost here. So, you know, when we created this feature, one of the most important things was making sure that you weren't spending $1,000 on a printer. So you can pick this printer up for less than $99 on Amazon, and it prints wonderful photos in a 4x6. Text messaging rates. So the text messaging rates, it really varies. It's somewhere around 1 cent per text message. So just contact us here, and we can figure out what it is, and then we'll make sure that you're not being overcharged or charged at all if it's a small rate. And then one other question here: when are you launching StoryCam in Pakistan? We have a few customers out there today, so it is available throughout the country. So the new application is now live globally, so anyone can update their application. I would probably suggest that you delete the current application and then just reinstall it again, so just to make sure that everything is clean. And if you guys have any other further questions, we're always available by email or the online chat inside of your control panel. The email is hello@meetstory.com. So if you have any questions, feel free. That concludes the webinar right on time. Thank you for participating. And like I said, we're going to be doing a lot more of these webinars about everything in terms of what StoryCam is up to and what we're doing, and also to introduce a bunch of new features that we know that customers would love to know more about in regards to social media campaigns, social hubs, and so forth. So look out for our emails. Look out for our social media on our Instagram. And thank you, everybody, for participating. Thank you.